everybody. Welcome back. It's UnkleDestiny here, and we're going to be doing our reading for the month of November. So, we just now, well, I'll be honest, right now I'm recording this today on Hallows Eve, number 31st, which is the point where the veil is the thinnest. So we're hoping for a very powerful reading today, and make sure the spirits and the ancestors are going to come through as clear as possible to let us know what November is going to hold for everybody as we draw this year, 2013, much closer to a close. So let's go ahead and get the spirits in and see what they have to say. Okay, so as usual, anything that goes off the reading surface is not part of the reading. So what we've got here today, we have our primary bones, these three, which is home, work, and family, all in a nice little row. And it's an interesting weave between them. So, since we also know that November, for some of us, is going to be the holiday period of Thanksgiving, it's going to be a period of drawing family together. Now, all of these things are running in almost a parallel, save for the work and family, which have a slight angle to them. But otherwise, they're all very parallel. And what's more so is the copper piece is actually directly under the work bone. So what's going to be happening this next month is going to be there's going to be a lot of flux with work, but there's also going to be a lot of flux that's pushing you towards something. The spirits are very much involved with this, as well as with the way the rib bones are intertwining between these, as well as connecting this. So there's a lot of things that are coming together in this period, and they'll start next month, and they should finish by the time we get to the solstice in December. And it's going to be a lot more about restructuring and reorganizing. So you're going to find that there's going to be some changes you're going to have to deal with, but the changes in the result are going to be ones that are going to be propelling you towards the future. Now, with these changes, you're going to be dealing with some upheaval. As I said, there's changes. Change is inevitable. And the more you flow with it versus trying to work against it, the better it is. So, you may have your boss telling you that they may want you to work a little extra. True, you may be feeling upset about that, but again, roll with it, because it will end up being things that will help you, such as putting you in line for that promotion. It'll put you in line for more hours, more money. It'll also, in a way, signal to not just to those you're working with, but the spirits and the ancestors, that you are willing to work to create what you need. That you're willing to put the energy in. And that's what's key, and that's what they're looking for. Is that, are you willing to put the energy in so that once the solstice is over and you're preparing for the spring, that things can be manifested that way. So the other elements, which we have in our outer bones here and here, relate to that. And in that regard, what they're relating to is the fact that the next year, the things that are going to come in the spring period, when life begins anew, are being slowly pulled together. These next 2 months are going to be key to setting those things up for you. And then again, the more you're willing to work, the more you're willing to flow with change versus work against it, the better you are for all these pieces to come together and form into that greater point. Now, you will have to work on harmony, especially with the family, how many hours you work, how much you're away from home, whether or not you're actually putting the putting the funds towards Christmas gifts is also a factor, because you may end up turning that money and putting it towards more securing the home, or putting more security into your vehicle so that you can get to and from work, so that you can have this setup for next year. And again, everything is getting set up for the spring. So we've just come from the period of harvest. We've got everything being prepared for storage through the winter months. The long survival, the setup, where those seeds will be ready to be planted again in the spring. So this is all about rest, but in a way you're resting to prepare yourself for the future. So Spending that energy and setting everything up before the solstice allows you to rest during the winter, which is when the rest of these things are going to come in together and form. And the other message that the ancestors have in all of this is that it is very important to understand how much we think about things and how much those thoughts shape our reality. So if you keep obsessing about loss, you're going to end up with loss. If you focus on having the bounty with you, having abundance, and that's not physical abundance. That's the abundance of your family. That's the abundance of your friends. That's the abundance of your pets. That's what's going to be key, because they're actually much richer and much more important in a long term than any dollars that you catch and use. Yes, they're nice to keep the roof over your head and keep the warm clothes. That's important. But in all those times that you're spending with all that money, isn't keeping your soul warm and nurtured. That's what your friends and families are. So focus on bringing people into your life that are positive. I'm looking for friends that can cheer me up and cheer me on, not tear me down and bury me. So that's what the ancestors are talking. I know that's kind of a heavy message, but it's an important message, because we're moving to the time of surviving the winter, and that calls on surviving with everybody around us and supporting each other in a community. So that's about it for what the bones have to say today. I want to remind you that this is a general reading for everybody, so there are parts here that may not apply to you, but they do apply in some other elements. So if you want a more personalized reading, either with the bones or by using tarot cards, contact me at the email below, and we'll get you taken care of. Otherwise, this has been Uncle Destiny. I hope you have a good November, and be blessed.